Hello all, this is Mike, aka The Rebel Preacher, and my last video I did on the chicken coop and showed you how easy it is really to create one, and they don't have to be fancy. And chickens pretty much, like I said, if you have 3 laying chickens, will give you 2 eggs a day, sometimes 3, but most of the time you're going to get 2 a day. And the more you add, the more you get. And you say, well, that's not really a whole lot. But really, if you have other things to eat, those chickens the eggs start backing up. And like us, like you'll wind up having 72, and you're like, we got to find someone to give these to. So that is one easy way of maintaining food. And again, growing peppers, very easy. You can grow them in the house, outside. Growing tomatoes, which is a challenge for me. I don't know why it is. Everybody else has no problem with it. But growing things like that you can mix within eggs and create like an omelet, or just fry them together, is a great source of food. Keeps it interesting, not so boring. And then if you can get some sausage and beef and other foods to put in there, you pretty much have a meal every day. Now we're talking about survival. We're talking about when things would collapse and there's not a lot of food out there. You really wouldn't be worried about, the same thing every day. You're just thankful that you have something to eat, hopefully anyway. But another thing to think along these lines is the thought of community. And in my past, community has always been like more of a religious community that I've wanted to be a part of, like a Jewish community, whatever. And the thing is I've rethought that now, because yes, it's good that if you're in a community, especially if you're in a Jewish community now, hopefully you will take care of each other if things happen. Well, the same is true if you're a pagan or you're a Christian or you're a Muslim or whatever you may be. You want to be with like-minded people, but what if you can't? What if you're like me and you live out here in the middle of Georgia, and there's, so many different diverse opinions around you, mostly of them are Christian? Well, I would have no problem living within a Christian community. I would not, as long as it was made up front that we don't have to, we can disagree. Because I believe the most important thing that you can bring to the table of any community is good actions and good towards your fellow man. In other words, the ultimate good, helping each other survive, helping each other feed each other, take care of children. I believe we should not let religion stand in the way of helping communities do that. And I believe I could be in any community pretty much, and bring my best efforts forward to help that community with food, protection, whatever that community needs. I feel like I could fill that hole here, Mr. Rooster, and also at the same time be who I am. And maybe I can't define my understanding of the Creator, and that's fine, as long as I'm bringing my truest form of who I am in honesty, not trying to let my ego rule things, and helping in any way. I don't think there would be a problem. And I think that's something you really should consider, especially if you live out in the middle of rural communities. If you're pagan, you're going to have to deal with Christians. And, if you're Christians, you're going to have to deal with pagans. Jews outside of their community, you're going to have to be able to deal with these things. And I know as far as a Jew, it's going to be harder with dietary laws and stuff of that nature. But I think if the thing collapses and things get really bad, we're not going to be worried much about that. We'll do the best we can. So as you're thinking about things, be thinking about community. I would want my family from Mobile to come up. I would want my mother and aunt and them from, whatever, to come together. And it would be a lot of tension because everybody's at different levels of life. But the ultimate good must come forward, that we must take care of each other. And egos have to be surrendered, and we have to do the best we can to take care of each other. And the reason why I'm saying this is, there's a lot of talk right now in the news media, and I personally feel like something's going on. And I'm not in the conspiracist, of all this Trump stuff and everything. But I do believe that we have seasons, we have times that things change. And I believe we're in a time. We see it spiritually, but I believe physically we're going to see some things happening. And I hope it's not bad. Hope it's good. Hope it brings us closer together. But I think we need to be prepared to bring whatever the Creator has put inside of us and bring it out to help people. Now, you need to stay away from communities that are lazy, or communities that have a egotistical leader that wants to rule and reign. Those cannot be sustained. You forget that. It's going to be ruled by violence and anger. We need people who are real to come together. Pagans, Christians, Jews, Muslims, whatever you may be. And the thing is love and support each other. Now, the Norse mythology that I study is not the Vikings. It has nothing, I mean, yeah, the Vikings came from it, and the Vikings had their own form of spirituality. But when you really look at the fact that we have to be good to all humanity, we have to be good to anyone, no matter what their beliefs are. And we don't want to be egotistical leaders and have to be right about everything. We just want to work with the land, work with nature, work with each other, and exceed that wherever we can. So when I think of Christianity, I don't think of the Crusades all the time, although it's a point of contention you could go to. I think of those people out there that are really trying to be like Jesus and help people. And I think that's the way we have to think about pagans and Jews and everybody. The religion's one thing, but how do they act and react towards you? So think about that. As things are happening and you're watching the news and you see them getting ready to, it looks like they're going to starve us out in some way or try to. You need to be keeping your eyes open for people that you feel like you can get along with, people that you can truly help and support. So if something does happen, you don't have a lot of time to plan it. But you need to start talking about how we can help each other. And that doesn't always have to mean to live in the same area, which it might. I mean, we could have a community of a neighborhood that we take care of each other, or we may have to move on to land together, something. But this is just a thought. I'm thinking outside, trying to help people instead of panic and worry and be negative, to create positive scenarios in their life of, like I said, chicken coops, thinking of how we can deal with each other and within communities, things of this nature. And as always, like and subscribe, and I appreciate your views. Thank you so much.